Hey, what's going on, knife nerds? I got the Eleforge TALON here, designed by Olex of O.Sho Designs. Now, I've posted a couple times on this piece, but one thing I haven't shown was a disassembly and reassembly video. I wanted a couple practices because this thing has a little toggle switch and this compression button lock, and I didn't want to fumble too much in the video. So I wanted to practice, get good at it, and then here we are. All right, so let's get to it. T8s all around, reversible pocket clip. Even this wave stud is a T8. So really good. I love that design aspect of it already. It makes it much more efficient. Okay. Body screw comes out. I'm going to take the clip screw off also, because it also holds everything together like that. I'll leave the clip on. I'll take it off later if I need, if you guys want me to. I'll show you guys. It's in there pretty good. The tolerances on this knife, they're pretty good. This piece is made pretty well. So I got, speaking of tolerances, so I got to wiggle everything apart because it just doesn't come apart easily. All right, there we go. Now, for your first time, that could be quite intimidating. This thing came off, this thing moved, like, where does it go, right? Well, see, that's what I wanted to skip. I wanted you guys to lose all that headache and just watch, and I'll show you guys how it's done. So here's that compression button lock. There's the detent. Let me get that, bring this up for you guys. Right there. So essentially, like that, right? So normally, on a liner lock, the detent's at the bottom down here, right? But with the compression top liner, it's up on top. See that? It's pretty cool. Alright, so T8's even on the inside screws. There's a detent ball. What is that for? It's for the toggle switch, for this lock. See there? Whoop, 2 holes. Okay. So that's one thing that was, I didn't want to be too finicky on the recording because it can be a headache. And after a couple of practices, I got it down. All right, so here's the rest of the knife. This guy is kind of free swinging, so later on I'll show you guys how to deal with that. Let's zoom up. See, very clean. Oh yeah, let's read that off. Be careful of the blade. I always gotta remain control on it. Brand Eleforge, model Talon, designer O.Sho, materials M390, and what is that? TC4 titanium is my guess. All right. Whoops. See that? My hand slipped. There's gonna be washers and bearings. Okay, so both sides. You guys are gonna see. Let me take this apart. Zoom out. So bam, everything's laid out, and that's kind of how it happened to me when I first took everything apart. It just kind of fell apart. Everything held together until it didn't need to, and boom. So here's this video for you guys. There we go. All right, I'm gonna take this off also. Okay, T8s. So those screws are a bit different, you guys will see. So I'm gonna keep those aside. But, I mean, you can't really mistake that. Very clean work. Alright, let's scoot over a bit. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a stop pin up there. It's in pretty good, so let's just leave that there. I don't need to take that off. The clip, you guys get it, right? I don't need to take it off either. It's in pretty well. Okay, so let's tidy up. those bearings with the washers. All right, toggle button. All right, we're good to go. Okay, these stay with that. All right. All right. Let's get everything together. So we're gonna start with putting this guy back on. Okay. It's pretty simple, right? It's a lot different than a regular plunge lock, because the plunge lock is just a spring and the straight button that goes in there. And the tang of the blade actually has a cutout either internally or, you know, all around, jigged all around the blade itself, similar like this. But this guy, just like a liner lock, so I find this type of lock a bit more trust. I put a little bit more trust in it than a regular button lock, just because this part right here touches the knife tang itself, the contact there. A bit safer, you have all this bar, while the button lock, you only have the plunge and that round surface. If it dents, if it warps somehow, whatever happens, you know, I don't know, it can fail. And so, I mean, I love button locks. I have many of them, but am I going to trust it to do the toughest jobs? Or am I going to be disappointed in them if they fail? I'm not going to be too surprised, right? So anyways, back to my assembly video. So I got this on. Later on, I'm going to have to do a zoom up on getting this thing on, so we'll come back to that. Let's get with this side. This is the O.Sho side. First, we're going to put on this, where did it go? Oop, rolled away. This barrel spacer. This is for the back spacer. What it is it swings around a lot, and it's just much easier to deal with now than later. That's where the clip screw goes in. We don't need to deal with it now, because if we just put it in there, it's going to be hanging. All right. So I'm going to prepare this side first. I'm going to get the pivot in. So one thing to notice, this piece has a D-shaped pivot. You see that? And so you're going to want this pivot's flat end to be facing down towards the butt end of the knife, just so then when you put it together, you don't have to deal with it too much. I mean, you'll see. I like to position it first and always check that positioning. I like to keep my finger on it just so it doesn't turn too much, but always pay attention to it. So let's get this washer down, then the bearing. You guys notice there's no oil. They ran this dry, so that's pretty cool. I like to run my pieces dry also. Blade in. So remember that the stop pin's on this end, not on this end. So this guy's gonna be kind of free swinging. Try to keep control on it, keep an eye on it. I like to hold it along with my stop pin too. All right. This guy is swinging around too, so it's just one thing to deal with. But at least when you connect things, you can just push it back. All right. Bearings. Washer. All right, so I'm gonna put this down. Oh yeah, first off, let's position. I'm gonna turn it. All right, I think we're good for now. Okay, so right here, this is the part that I kind of practice on just because it's finicky. So this button kind of pops, or this compression lock kind of pops out more than the button itself. So it has to go underneath or inside that. You see this? So it kind of doesn't want to stay in there, as it kind of pushes out a bit, so it can kind of flop around easily. So what I gotta do is, or what we gotta do is, we put it in there, and then we kind of have to hold it like that and like this. We're kind of pinching it together because we have to turn it upside down. All right, you guys got it? All right, let's bring this over. So that's why we have to make sure that D pivot's facing down already, just because this part's gonna be very annoying. That stop pin, I gotta aim for that too. All right, so. Okay. And I'm gonna push down, all the way down too. And now, I'm gonna try to pick it all up. Zoom out. Okay, everything's in. I wanted to see if everything's smashed in together. Oh, there we go. Exactly what I needed. Hey, that was easy. All right, so everything's pretty good. So this is where I check my work. I'm gonna press the button. Make sure it functions. Okay, pull the lock back. All right, good. So now we know we're at the home stretch. See that? Practice makes perfect, right? My first video, whew, thing was a mess. There it is. How about that? Easy peasy. So this thing I noticed stays centered pretty easily. I don't have to do much to it. There's no blade play at all. I don't actually have to check my pivot too much. Out of all the time I played with it, fidgeted with it, showed you guys, and it never got loose on me. Yeah, I really like it. It's done very well. Screws are exact. Nothing to complain about, actually. Yeah, honestly, I have no complaints. I really like this piece. What do you guys think?